Unpopular opinion, but The Departed is better than Goodfellas. What's up, everybody? So today we're going to be talking about the 2006 crime thriller, The Departed, directed by Martin Scorsese, written by William Monahan, and just one of the all-time great casts with Leonardo DiCaprio, Matt Damon, Jack Nicholson, Alec Baldwin, Mark Wahlberg, Martin Sheen, and just a number of other really great secondary players that tells this incredibly suspenseful and thriller story set in Boston. Now, the premise is lifted from a Chinese movie called Infernal Affairs, which also they turned into a franchise. But The Departed is a self-contained story, and it's basically a cat and mouse thriller where Matt Damon is the mole within the police department who works for Jack Nicholson's character, who has his own organized crime family, basically. And he's feeding him information about how the cops are operating. And you have Leonardo DiCaprio's character, who was trying to be a cop. Right after graduation, he's basically hired to forget being a cop and be an undercover agent for this particular department in the Boston PD. And now they're just trying to find each other. And it adds for just some incredible moments of tension, suspense, and also there's a lot of kind of gut-wrenching moments because everyone is lying to each other. And I'll get into that in a little bit. But I think a lot of what we have to talk about when it comes to The Departed is just the genius that is Martin Scorsese. I mean, how he was able to take all of these great actors, great players with this kind of slightly convoluted story, because there's a lot of different subplots as well, and weave them so seamlessly together in that Martin Scorsese style of short scenes, but very compact and to the point, and string them all together. So the movie's almost 3 hours long, but like any Scorsese movie, especially a gangster movie, it doesn't feel like 3 hours. And so that to me is a feat in and of itself. The performances are great. I love that they had Matt Damon in there. You know, like Boston guy, can pull off the accent. Nobody was doing the accent in a way that is like a caricature of the accent. It all felt very authentic and real. And I love how William Monahan, who I think grew up in Boston, he decided when he was tasked to write the script, he was like, look, I'm just going to take the premise and I'm going to set it in a place that I know about, where I can add some extra layers, for authenticity to it, because I've seen the Chinese version of it. And one of the things that they do that is very different is they just kind of drop you into the world. Right away from the first scene, it's like, okay, dude is undercover. He's working on the sly with the police to kind of get information to them about, this particular organized group of gangsters. But there's a lot of catching up that you have to do as an audience member. Whereas with The Departed, I think William Monahan did a great job of giving you some time to get to know these characters, so you really kind of see how Matt Damon's character grew up with Jack Nicholson's character and why he feels this sense of loyalty to him. And with Leonardo DiCaprio's character, you see how he's trying to do good because he just grew up in such a terrible environment, yet he's going to be the one to transcend whatever family history he's dealing with. And he has a really great moment when he's, talking to the Martin Sheen and Mark Wahlberg characters in the police department right before they task him to be the undercover agent, where they're talking about his family history. And he says, well, families are rising and falling in America, which is a Nathaniel Hawthorne quote. So I thought that was kind of, as an English teacher, an interesting little Easter egg there for us lit fans. At the same time, Jack Nicholson steals the show. I believe this was his second to last movie. I think the movie he did after this was Bucket List, with Morgan Freeman. And up until then, he'd done like a handful of comedies. And so now he's like, I'm going to be like the worst villain of all time. And I don't know if he is from an objective standpoint, but he's definitely very unsettling, unpredictable, and endlessly watchable. And the thing that I love hearing about, you can find these interviews with Matt Damon online about how there are so many moments in the movie that might have been just one line on the page of the script, but Jack Nicholson adds things to it. He didn't really change much, but he expanded on it, and it brings to life this incredible character, this incredible villain. And one of the things that you also hear about is that how he would just kind of improvise on the fly, and not even the actors he was sharing the scene with know what he's going to say. So when you see kind of this tension and awkwardness in either Matt Damon's character or Leonardo DiCaprio's character, it's very much drawn from like, I don't know what this guy is going to say next. And it's just great to see. It's a lot of fun, very suspenseful, almost scary at times, and with one of the all-time great endings. If you haven't seen it, I'll just say that it's incredibly Shakespearean, and I'm all for it. Anyways, oh, and I forgot to mention, before I sign off, how could I forget? This was the movie that Martin Scorsese finally got his Oscar win. This was his 6th nomination as Best Director, and he finally got it. It departed as a film, won Best Picture that year. William Monahan won Best Adapted Screenplay, and Thelma Schoonmaker, Scorsese's longtime editor, also brings home the prize. So that was also like a nice little way to cap off, I think, one of his final really gangster movies. Anyways, what about you guys? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Click subscribe, smash that like button, and I'll see you guys next time.